Guys, welcome back to Organization Structures, and this is the first episode for PMP Clinic. There can be only two businesses on this planet. It can be a combination of the two, but if you just go to the basics, just like work, you can have only two kinds of business. And one is project-based business, and one is operations-based business. Now, out of the five, the very first one, one of the most popular ones in the older days was called functional. Now, you need to understand this functional organization is also called departmental organization, right? You should know this. Functional organizations are also called departmental organizations. Now, what does it do? Well, a functional organization or a departmental organization, which is visible right now, is an organization structure which has decided that they will only do operations. They will not do any projects. In fact, people over there don't even know what projects really mean. So they just do operations, right? 100% operations. Walmart, big bazaars, all these kind of companies, they don't worry about projects. If they have a project, like a new Walmart has to be set up somewhere, right? They don't do it themselves. They just outsource it to somebody like a turnkey project manager or a turnkey project company like L&T Projects, right? But they will never do any projects. And therefore, 100% investment is only in operations. I get that absolutely right, that functional organizations have nothing to do with projects. Now, you will find that most of the companies on the planet, they kind of feel, I think we should do some projects, and I think we should also do some operations, right? Actually, in the world, there are very few companies which are purely functional and purely projectized. They do exist, and they're very famous, but they are very few, right? Most of the companies, they kind of feel, you know what, we should do some projects and some, operations as well. And that's the reason why those kind of organizations are called matrix. Matrix is like a combination of horizontals and verticals, right? In management sector, horizontals is what is known as projects, and verticals are, different departments, different functions, or different silos, right? So a combination of that creates a mesh which looks like a matrix, right? I know some of you might have thought I'm talking about Keanu Reeves or the Matrix movie. Well, I'm not. So it's just a company. And one of the most prominent among them is a company called, or an organization structure called balanced matrix. So please remember, balanced matrix is the same as just the term matrix. So if in exams they say matrix, it means balanced matrix. Keep that in mind. All right. 50% projects and 50% operations when we talk about matrix. Existence of both projects and operations. Employees report to two managers, right? Because one of them will always be the functional head from where that employee actually comes, and then also reports to the project manager to whose project the person has been, assigned to. Roles and responsibilities not very well demarcated. No matter how well you do it, because it is 50-50, the project managers will constantly come in the way of the HODs and the HODs vice versa, and you will actually find conflict. In fact, just an appraisal of an employee can result into an all-out war between a project manager and an HOD in a balanced matrix. It's one of the most, it's one of those organizations where the communication can become really complex. It's actually a very beautifully made question, right? And it's designed in such a fashion that people will overlook the very obvious thing, which is right in front of us, right? And when I actually show it to you, most of you will say, oh, how did I miss that? Well, actually, the answer, and this is going to shock all of you, right? It says, so every time she asked the programming manager for resources for her project, he says that they're all assigned to other work. So she is constantly, now this is very important, constantly having to go over his head to overrule him. She gets to overrule him, right? Now this is a programming manager who's basically an HOD, and she is she's able, so even though this person is having a conflict with her, she's able to just overrule him, right? Completely. And what does overrule mean? That she will get away with what she wants. She will get the resources because she just goes over his head, reports to somebody and says, hey, I want this done, and it will get done. So what she does is she's overruling him. She's going over his head, right? In a weak matrix or in a functional organization, I mean, functional, of course, would not have project manager, and a weak matrix, a project manager would not have that right to go over anybody's head. They don't have any powers, right? And it is not projectized because we have a programming manager who's a functional head. So therefore, this is an example of a strong matrix where a project manager, when they have some kind of a conflict, it is resolved in the favor of the project manager. That is the reason why I'm showing you these kind of questions which actually show up, which are very beautifully made. So you need to understand how to approach a question, right? This is what needs a little bit of practice, right? That's why I started with basic ones, and I'm going on to some of the really tough ones. So now we talk about the virtual organization, right? Now, virtual organization, basically what it means, the kind of training that we are having here is called a virtual training. So just because some meetings in your organization, they happen virtually, does not make your organization virtually. Just imagine an organization where none of the team members have even seen an office. There are organizations like Guru, codeguru.com, and there are a few other companies where they do not even have one physical office, nothing. Even their servers are hosted on cloud, provided by a server that they do not even know, right? So everybody just connects to that website and says, hey, this is what I'm good at. And they will be tested, and just from their home they can, or from whatever places, they can even be on a, they might be going on a ski holiday, and they can actually log in from there and get the work done. And it's all based on some operations, or that you take the next 20 calls that come from Microsoft and support them. So it's a virtual organization, completely spread, and nobody knows the other guy. So there is no actual physical interaction. People never get to meet each other. Imagine an organization like that. And there are many organizations which are already in place. And guess what? Because of this Corona situation, you will see a plethora of these kind of organizations coming up, right? Virtual organizations, complete platforms, only for virtual. So I'm talking about that. Again, I'm saying, do not confuse that just because your traditional organization has a few virtual meetings, it makes it into a virtual organization. It does not. I'm talking about the entire organization itself is virtual. So no physical office, all virtually connected and employed. Not easy to work in such organizations. These organizations are very tough because we have not met people. There are very big problems with loyalty, right? And cultural issues keep cropping up because people are from just about every geographical situation that you can imagine. PMs usually do not have clear authority over here because most of this work is usually done for operational or run-of-the-mill standard operating system, which is very easy for people to train on. So more work is happening on operations rather than on projects, and therefore, right now, I'm sure this virtual organization will later on become even a more projects-oriented, but it is not. Right now, it is not, and therefore, we just say that in virtual organization, well, it's on the other side of the balance matrix where the authority of the project manager is less than that of other functional heads or anybody for that matter, right? So current maturity of the organization is such that it does not work too well with projects, at least for now. And this maturity will change, but as far as your exams are concerned, the project manager is not very powerful over here. Perfect. And has a massive issue with loyalty, right? So collaboration through internet collaboration tools, right? All these kind of things. It's a virtual organization. Perfect. All right. So now we talk about virtual organization from the point of view of a warning. Guys, be very careful. It is important to note that just because some of the projects in an organization are being done using virtual teams does not make it a virtual organization. A virtual organization has to be one where all the employees are working from different locations, not owned by the organization, and that all work is being done in a detached manner using technology for team collaboration and work assembly. in order for an organization to be called virtual organization, each and every team member or employee should be working virtually and nothing to do with a physical office.